Well, I'm on my way to Columbus. It's rattling. It was tough. It was tough finding a plane this morning. I am and was scheduled to drive in Columbus and Ontario at the same time today. I guess it really just boiled down to a triage situation. Where was I needed most? And with everything going on this week and next week, I just felt that ensuring Sweet on Pete and Purple Ore had a good race, and trusting that James would look at that cat around at Mohawk tonight, it just seemed like the best way to go about it. I do have to be in Northfield tomorrow. I do have to be in the Meadows on Thursday, and I guess the deciding factor also was that the Meadows, I'm in race 1, 2, and 3 on Thursday afternoon. I was able to secure a flight at 4 o'clock, which puts me back in Ontario at 5:04 p.m. and allows me to make the races for both Brace for Landing, Gandalf the Black on Thursday. My car is still at the airport, so I did have to get it at some point in Ontario. It's just been a real hectic week. I had some updates I forgot to mention to people. People were messaging me asking if Unbeatable Kent bled. He didn't bleed. What I thought had happened was a little bit of a mechanical issue with him. He was touching himself and I think, to be frank, spinning his wheels a little bit in the last turn at Oak Grove yesterday. Track was really deep, really sandy, and he had flip-flops on, and both him and Yes did not feel like they were getting a hold of the track very well. If you watch the replay, you can see that Unbeatable Kemp looks loaded, and as soon as I allow him to step forward and give him his head, that's when he ran into trouble. Same thing with Yes. When I had a pretty good hold of him, I was letting him trot along, he was okay, but when push came to shove and it was time to get going, he struggled a little bit. I noticed it more than anything down the lane. Just looked like he was really scrambly. I think that was more just footwear and footing more than anything else. No free lunch has, I talked to Harry quite frankly the other day after the race and said, hey, does this horse need to go somewhere? I mean, he's got $3,000 made last 6. That was one $3,000 check and 5 no checks. That's not good for business. It's not really what we're trying to do. He said, he was terrible tonight. Let's take his blood. And Harry gets it, and I love working with him, and I love talking with him about this stuff. He said, let me get the blood back first, and then we'll go from there. Very fair. He got the blood back this morning. Now, you might hear me say from time to time the horse's differential was flipped. So they break down the white count, the blood work down, and the neutrophils and lymphocytes should be 60-40. But there's other numbers that go into play there. You might see like 58, 35, 38, and then some other numbers. His was flipped, so it was almost 40-60. Almost every single time you see that, it's an indication of a horse that's getting sick. And then you also look up, and his I can't take that right yet. His AST, his muscle count, was a little high, which is very rare for no free lunch. So more than enough reason why he was no good the other night, and he is in the bottom class in Ontario. So I am more inclined to let him win his way out of those bottom 2 classes, and then at that point we can make a decision. Do we take him to I was thinking the Meadows, but we'll see. Does he go to the Meadows? Does he go anywhere else? Obviously, they're having some difficulties in Plainridge filling some of these classes. We're pulling our hair out over Patrick DeProna. So I don't think that would be on the table right now. What was I going to say? I'm thinking let's race him out of the bottom 2 classes in Ontario, and then at that point we can make a decision together, both Harry, myself. If James is driving him, then with James, and just say, okay, can he do the next class up? If he can, I'm not waiting 4 more starts for him to get back down in there. We'll move him somewhere. So that's what's on the table with that guy. I know a lot of people had asked me, when I was talking about Renegade Gypsy last week, I was so happy and that he would stay. Well, the class he's in tonight, he doesn't belong in there. That's an onwards of 3,000. That's where the track put him. It's tough to find a spot for him, and he's along the same lines. I mean, I'm optimistic about tonight, cautiously optimistic, but intrigued because he isn't with aged horses. I want to see how he does, but we got to find a consistent place to race horses like Renegade Gypsy and horses like No Free Lunch, and they're out there. This isn't this isn't, oh my God, what are we going to do? There should be a place for these horses, and we'll find it for them. Obviously, so I guess I should have led with this. I'm in, I got a ride from Dayton. I had to fly into Dayton today because there was no flights to Columbus. Well, the airport from Dayton is a little over an hour, and it's probably 35, 40 minutes from Columbus Airport to Scioto anyway, so it's not really the end of the world. The problem was there was no flights that got me here early enough. The flight I got said it would get me in at 1:05, which put me perfectly on time, actually 10 minutes early, to sign in at Scioto. The problem being the airplane wasn't there when I got there. Everybody was there, just the airplane wasn't there. So we were delayed about half an hour and took off slow, landed. By the time it was all said and done, I'm now late. So I'm not going to be able to make Purple Aura this afternoon for race 1. Purple Aura's in a spot where, listen, she's in with a filly. She probably can't beat in Atlanta Hill, but at the same token, she should be able to get a good trip behind Atlanta Hill or somebody else if she lets one of the other ones go. I don't know who's going to drive her. It'll likely be Josh Sutton or Jeremy Smith or someone along those lines. They should get along just fine with her. But nevertheless, my biggest chore today was the other filly, right? We want to make sure that she gets along well and doesn't make a break, and that was paramount. That was today's chore. You know, she's picked to win. She has been prone to breaks. She has made breaks. Let's make sure she doesn't. And you know, the way she raced the other day, I'm confident she won't. But I know her as good as anybody, and I feel a lot better with me being here driving her than biting my lip watching the race for 2 minutes. So I'm here now. We're getting close to Scioto, but I did miss Purple Aura, so good luck to them. Obviously, what else do we got going on? Big weekend for us. Una Madonna was absolutely fantastic. A couple of big updates with her coming up in the next few days, but she was exceptionally good. Blue Bayou Dio, probably one of the best races of her life. She was awesome. I really thought for a second I got there, but we were just beat a nose at the wire. Yes, did the best he could, but as I said, I believe he was spinning his wheels. You guys can see, go back and watch the race. You'll see what I'm talking about. You can see when we're floating along, kind of drop down into fourth gear, so to speak. We're not in top speed. He was struggling. He was struggling with the surface, I believe, on the track. And the same type of thing you saw with Unbeatable Kemp. I had a pretty big hold of him coming off the gate. He followed well. He followed cover like he was going to attack really hard. And then when I allowed him to attack, when he was at top speed, he really struggled. Got out of gear. I had to watch him. He near made a break a couple of times. And then once we got flattened out down the lane, he was fine. I got to watch Brave World race last night. Grace, they both raced pretty good. Pretty happy with them. We're off to a flying start, I guess is the best way to put it. And I think we all hoped that this would happen, and it's come to fruition, and it's been a great run for us. Quick overview of what I'm doing. Obviously, I'm here today at Scioto. Tomorrow, we have Northfield Park. One to skip a few is in. Who else is in? Not really sure. I know we got 3 or 4 in tomorrow at Northfield Park. I know that Thursday, we have the Colts at the Meadows. I'll fly home Thursday evening. Should have plenty of time to make it there for Brace for Landing and Gandalf the Black. Friday morning, I think Amy and the kids are going to come with me. There's no rush because they start at 5 p.m. in Washington, Pennsylvania at the Meadows. We're going to drive over and see what happens after that for the rest of the weekend. Am I going to come home and qualify horses Saturday? Am I going to stay over there and race the horses we have there Saturday? What do I have to do Sunday? A lot going on, but it's all worth it. I mean, as I say all the time, you know, waking up in a different spot and going to bed in a different spot is kind of weird, but that's my job for the summer, and we worked all year to get to this point, and you know, I won't be deterred. The stable will succeed if I have to put it on my back and drag it around with me. But we're off to a flying start, and I'm super happy with what's gone on. So there are a few other updates I'm sure I missed, and I apologize. Please, if you're not sure about what's going on, what happened, or there's some information you're looking for, just message me, and I'll be happy to pass it along. I hope everybody recognizes and gives me a little leeway here. And there's a lot going on right now, and I do forget sometimes that not everybody knows. So with that, I will check out for the afternoon. I'm sure I'll be back with a video this evening on my way home to my Ohio home with Jason in the truck from Scioto down. So good luck to everybody. I'll talk to you all soon. Take care.